Hello my dear students and welcome again to today's class. As you can see on your screens, today I am going to tell you about different materials, how the different things can be sorted out into different groups. So the chapter is sorting material into groups. Children, there are so many things around you. Right now also if you see in your room, they would be finding so many things like table would be there, chair would be there, almirah would be there, light would be there, fan would be there, ACs would be there. You have got a book right now in front of you, you have got a pen. So there are so many things around you. Even where you are sitting, your mom must be around you. You must have got some small plants. You may have a small pet at home. So different things are there which you can see around yourself right now also. Okay, so let's start the chapter. Okay. There are different types of objects present around you. That is we see in our daily life. Okay, right now as I told you, there are so many things around you which you can see right now also. Okay. All these objects just now which I have named out, like blackboard, duster. Right now I am in a class, so I must have got a chalk, duster, blackboard and all. So all these are objects, and object is anything that can be touched and seen. Right now the pen is there, it's an object, I can see it and I can touch it also. So the matter which makes an object is called material. What is this object made up of? It is made up of plastic. Okay, so the plastic is the material. Okay, so different objects are made of different materials. For example, chairs and tables are made of wood. Here we shall learn what are the different type of objects and how can they be grouped into categories. Grouping of objects based on some specific properties is known as classification of objects. Okay, here a beautiful diagram is also shown. Object is there. An object can be a non-living object also and living object also. Living is the object which needs food, which needs water to grow. They all grow, they multiply, whereas if I talk about non-living objects, they do not have life, they do not need food, they do not need water. Okay, so those are termed as non-living objects. Further, living objects can be classified into plants and animals, and non-living objects we decide whether they are transparent, what is their state, what is their texture, and whether they are soluble or no. Okay, so let's start now. Just hold on. Okay, children, just give me a minute, some problem is there. Okay, living and non-living objects. Okay, we'll talk about living and non-living objects now. Okay. Objects can be classified as living and non-living object based on the following characteristic. Living things breathe and non-living things they do not breathe. Living things grow in size, non-living things do not grow. Living things need food and non-living things they do not. Living things move and whereas non-living things do not. So there in this they have told you all the objects which are around us, they are different things. They are categorized into living and non-living. Living things grow, they need water, they multiply, they move. Whereas on the other hand, non-living things, they do not need water, food, they do not multiply, they do not grow, and they do not even move on their own. Okay. An example of living thing is birds, sparrows, dogs, cats, and non-living things are pen, bag, water bottle. So many things are there around you which are non-living. Okay. Now, classification of objects. As we know that objects are made up of different materials, an object can be made up of one or more material. For example, a house is made up of different materials. The walls are made up of bricks, sand and cement. The furniture of houses is made up of wood and iron. All electrical fittings present in the house are made up of plastic and other synthetic materials. Okay, so different things are there and they are made of different materials. Okay, different objects are there and they are made up of different materials. Okay, This is an activity you can just go through. The material is there, plastic things made from the same, what all you can make from plastic. You can make a container, you can make a glass, you can make a plate, ceramic and all, you can just go through them. Okay, there's not much to tell you in this. All the activities are there which you can do on your own also. Now, you can see on your screen, materials can be classified according to various properties. Some of them are listed here. First is luster. What is luster? Some materials have a natural shine while others do not. On the basis of presence or absence of shine, materials are classified as lustrous or non-lustrous. Those which have a shine are called lustrous, and the materials which do not have shine are called non-lustrous. Okay. What is lustrous? The materials which have shine. जो materials shine करते हैं ना, like if I talk about gold, I talk about silver, they shine. That is known as lustrous. But the objects which do not shine are known as non-lustrous. Okay. Now the second one is texture. What is the texture? Whether the substance when we touch it is soft or hard. By touching the surface of the by touching the surface of the object, we comes to know about its texture. So some materials are rough whereas others are smooth. For example, linen is so smooth to touch while cotton is rough. Okay. Now hardness. Whether the object which we are touching is hard or soft, we will come to know only by touching. It is another property of materials. Some materials are soft whereas others are hard. Hardness of substance depends on the structure of the material. Diamond is the hardest one and talc is the softest substance. Okay. Now transparency. What do you mean by transparency? Whether we are able to see through it or no. Some materials allow light to pass through them. The more amount of light they allow to pass through themselves, the more we can see through them. Based on this property, materials can be classified as transparent, translucent and opaque. This property of substance is called transparency. The amount of light which will pass, the amount of light which the substance will allow to pass is known as its transparency, and based on that it is further divided into three parts. First is transparent, second is translucent and the third is opaque. Okay. Transparent materials. Such materials allow all the light that falls on them to pass through them. That is why we can see clearly through them. If I talk about air is transparent, glass is transparent and even water is transparent. Okay. Translucent. When light falls on translucent materials, they allow only some part of light to pass through it. All the light is not passed, only some part is passed. Okay. Then it is, thus we can see through them but not very clearly. Examples are butter paper, tin glass, greasy paper, etc. And opaque objects, if I talk about, they do not allow any light to pass. Okay, if I put my wallet here in front of me, you won't be able to see me because this is not allowing the light to pass. Okay, so what is happening? This is an opaque object. Okay, so some materials do not allow any light to pass through them. Such materials are called opaque, as we cannot see anything through them. Examples are copper, gold, silver, wood, plastics, all the stones, etc. Okay. Now, there are some activities to understand the transparency of the object. You can just go through them. There is nothing much You can just read them. Okay. Now we'll move to another topic, magnetic and non-magnetic. Okay, magnetic and non-magnetic. You must have heard of this word magnet. Magnet, what happens when you take anything towards all the metals, they attract towards metal. Okay, if I take a piece of iron and I take a magnet, what will happen? It will come closer, it will cling to it. Okay, it will stick to it. But if I take a magnet and take a piece of wood, it will not cling, it will not be attracted towards it. Okay, so some materials are attracted towards each other while others are not. Classification of materials based on this property are magnetic and non-magnetic materials. Materials which are attracted by a magnetic are called magnetic material, whereas the materials that are not attracted by a magnet are called non-magnetic materials. Now state, what is it state? As we all know, all objects are made up of some or the other material. These materials are further made of particles called matter, and matter exists in three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. All the things which are made available to us, they are made up of matter, and matter exists in three forms: solid, liquid and gas. Okay. So your next topic is conduction of heat. Okay. Conduction of heat, what do you mean by it? Conduction of heat, that is allowing heat to pass through, is another property on the basis which we can classify materials. Some materials that allow heat to pass through them are called good conductors of heat. Example are all the metals, especially aluminum, copper, iron, etc. Whereas materials which do not allow heat to pass through them are called bad conductors of heat. Example are wood and plastic. Okay. So whether the substance, whether the material is a good conductor or a bad conductor, it depends. Okay. Good conductors are those materials which allow the heat to pass through them, whereas the materials which do not allow the heat to pass is known as bad conductors of electricity. Okay. Bad conductors of heat or bad conductors of electricity, it can be anything. Now conduction of electricity. Another property which allow us to classify material is conduction of electricity. There are some materials that allow electricity to pass through them, while others do not allow electricity to pass through them. Okay. To pass through them, those materials which allow electricity to pass through them are called good conductors, and whereas those materials which do not allow electricity to pass through them materials to pass through them are called insulators. Example of conductors are metals such as copper, aluminum, etc. Example of insulators are wood, glass, etc. Okay. So with this I end the chapter. I hope you all have understood. Go through it once again. Okay. Bye bye. Take care of yourself.